Hello again from my front porch. You better get used to seeing me here on the front porch because it looks like I'm going to be able to do a few more episodes from right here, at least for a little while. Because as of this morning, I am now grounded from travel thanks to the coronavirus scare. Now, I don't have the coronavirus, just for the record, but my work travel, my work schedule has basically been traveling every week, and most of it out to Washington, D.C. and back, sometimes for a few days and sometimes for a longer period of time in that, but then basically being home every weekend and doing stuff. But so that's why you've seen me doing several of these from other places, mostly from Washington, D.C. But talked with my leader this morning, and we decided that for the sake of making sure that we keep everybody safe and that we're not sending the wrong message visually by people seeing us continuing to do some of these things when the company now is starting to say, we're trying to steer people away from doing some of those things. We realize that even if there's minimal risk, it just looks bad. And so we decided that, it's better to be safe all the way around. And so we're putting a pause in this program that I've been launching, and we're going to give it 30 days. So middle of April, hopefully we'll resume and pick back up. But I'm not guaranteeing that yet either. As we get closer to that time frame, we still might have to reevaluate it then also. But again, I want to be very clear about the fact that this is happening not because I had any concern about my level of risk. Now, why do I not have that concern? Is it because I don't think the coronavirus is serious? No, that's not at all. I think it's very serious. But then I also tend to think that things like the flu are serious, just the regular flu that we get going around, or even what people call the common cold. Because see, myself personally, I don't tend to get sick, personally. I don't tend to get sick, and if I get a little something, I can usually push it back. With the right medication and stuff, I can push it off and let it'll just go away. But if I get hit with like a flu bug and it actually takes hold, boom, I'm out for like 3 or 4 days, and there's just no way around it. It's just bam, up against the wall. And so when people are saying, well, flu's going around, I take that serious. I take it very, very serious, because I know that if I catch that, boom, I'm down for the count. And so I avoid it very, very much. And so when this new one started coming around, now granted, I will admit that I wasn't even as aware of just how virulent this strain is. And honestly, as an aside, that's something that concerns me, is how every time now a new thing comes along, it's always more powerful than the last one. And I'm like, where are these things coming from? How is it that they keep ramping up? And I'm there again. I could shift into conspiracy mind here and start going off on where some of that is, but that's not the point of this video. Actually, the point of this video is because now that I have got the personal impact of that, I want to address it. I've already been complaining about this, rattling this cage, trying to proclaim this on Facebook on my personal page for a while. But now I have a very tangible personal impact to myself of what this coronavirus stuff is doing, and so I want to use this as a further platform to speak out about this, and that is, people are being silly. I understand it's a very serious disease, especially a very serious virus, especially for, as I understand it, individuals who are older individuals who have a pre-existing respiratory issues, individuals who are heavy smokers because you're self-creating respiratory issues, and individuals who have a diminished immune system. And so, for those 4 groups especially, and I'm sure there are others, but it can be very dangerous. And so even someone like myself who doesn't tend to get sick, if I came in contact with it, I could carry it and hand it to somebody who really doesn't want it. Like last night, we were celebrating my mom's 75th birthday. Drove over to Carroll to join with most of my siblings and some of the family, and which celebrated her birthday. Well, all of us there, any one of us there, could have walked in carrying this bug. And we could have then passed it off to either my mom or my dad or both of them. And she's 75 now. He's 80. They are target for being able to have issues. So I'm very keenly aware of this. I'm not downplaying the severity, the significance of that. But here's the problem. Everybody is going bananas about this whole, we got to cancel everything. We have to isolate everyone. And I don't believe that's the case. See, if people would just use their heads instead of getting all paranoid and all hypered up about this stuff, if we just stop and think, wash your hands. Use hand sanitizer. I've started carrying hand sanitizer. I've got one in my laptop bag. I carry one in my coat. I've got one in my luggage bag in case I forget one of those two or they run out. And so I've got these spares of little hand sanitizer things. And anytime I'm at a store or I'm at our office in DC or wherever, and there's a hand sanitizer bottle, I don't pass it by. If there's one there or there's one mounted on the wall, I pause and I do that. Now, some might say, well, isn't that excessive? I'd rather be excessive in that way than to, say, postpone an entire training program for a month. But see, the problem is I'm doing that, but a lot of other people are not. That's the problem. It is easier for us to get worked up and paranoid wanting someone else to fix the problem. We want President Trump or people in Congress or somebody in Washington or the CDC. We want somebody to just wave their magic wand to make it all go away without us having to do anything. That's what we want. And so then when you tell me, hey, guess what? You're going to have to make some changes. I'm like, I don't want to. That's where a lot of people are. And that's what irritates me. Because if people had just listened to the advice, wash your hands. Use hand. If you're going to sneeze, don't go in your hands. Then try, do it in your sleeve if you have to. That's that's been my habit. But now they say that can sit on your sleeve. The germs can sit there on your sleeve and for like 24 hours. You can still spread them around. So just carry a little thing of Kleenexes. And you're going to sneeze, pull out one, sneeze into it, crumple it up, throw it away in a good receptacle. These are things where and then, don't be touching on your face and stuff too, especially while if you've touched stuff in public, you've done those kind of things. And so these are not tough things. These are not hard things. These are easy things. And in fact, these are the same things you should be doing when it's cold and flu season. Now, this particular coronavirus thing can be much more deadly. It's also important to understand that while you hear numbers about the rising number of cases and the rising death toll, keep in mind that there's a huge gap between those numbers. The majority of people who do get the coronavirus, they recover. They don't die. And those who have those complications, it's usually because of other complications they already had, pre-existing stuff, because they were in those high-risk zone. Now, I'm not saying that then they deserve it or they had it come. I'm not saying anything crass like that at all. I'm just saying it's important to understand that we're all getting concerned. Oh, we shouldn't do that. We canceled the March Madness. Going to postpone the rest of the NBA stuff. All these conferences and meetings everywhere, and all this kind of stuff. Everybody canceling, and I'm not convinced that's necessary. And we didn't do that when it was swine flu. And swine flu turned out to be a lot deadlier than this is, at least so far. Who knows? This could be worse. It's not resolved yet at this point. But at this point, it's tracking to not be as bad as swine flu was. Now, you could say it's because we learned our lessons and we're doing things better this time around. Okay, that'd be good. But the point still remains that when swine flu was going around, people took precautions, did things, but life continued on. Now with this one, the reaction is, almost everybody go into your individual bomb shelters and avoid human contact. That's how you survive. And I know it's not. And then there's all this nonsense about, well, we need more tests. There should be more tests. The tests mean nothing unless you have it. Because if I get tested today and it says, nope, negative, you don't have it, I could turn around tomorrow and shake hands with somebody who does, and guess what? Now I do have it. Even though yesterday the test said I didn't, today now I do. So the tests, yes, they're important, but that's not the silver bullet. That's not the magic either. The magic solution is just use your head. Just think. Think about yourself. Think about others around you. And another place we see this happening is in the stores. Like I went to Hy-Vee today because I'm going to be home for 30 days now, at least. I wasn't expecting to. One of the things I knew I needed more of was iced tea, because I'm trying to go cold turkey on soda. That's maybe a topic for another day, but I'm trying to go cold turkey on soda. But every once in a while, I still need that little boost of caffeine, so I drink black unsweetened iced tea. And so I had to go get some more of that. And while I was there, I realized I needed to get toilet paper, not because of the big hysteria, but because I realized, I was going to be okay with toilet paper because I'm hardly ever here, but now I'm going to be here a lot. I kind of need some more toilet paper. So I thought I'll just go see what's there. And there's not an exaggeration. I went over to where the toilet paper should be, and it was barren shelves except for 3 packages of this stuff. I don't even know what this stuff is. This is not the toilet paper I would normally I'd get some Charmin, a type of Charmin stuff, but all they had was 3 of these. I don't even know how much it was. Excuse me. I don't even know how much it was. I didn't even look at the price tag. I was like, I don't really have a choice now. And I think it was like $8. So, it's not too terrible. How many in this thing? How many rolls? What does it say? It doesn't. It says here's 12 rolls, $8. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse, actually. But so anyway, I did get my toilet paper, but I got it because of a legitimate reason, because of what it's intended for, and because I knew that I was going to need some. And the way things are going, who knows how much is going to be available, So I didn't want to wait until I absolutely needed it before I was trying to get some. But I only got 1 package, too. I mean, there's 3 of them there. I could have went, and that's what I see people doing, and they brag about it on Facebook. Yeah, I'm stocked up now for 6 months. Well, bully, good for you. What about the little old lady that's going in that is actually in the high-risk category, that actually should stay home, that actually should keep distance between herself? You just made it so she can't stay in her house because she doesn't have any toilet paper. Nice going. And the same with antibacterial soap and hand sanitizer and wipes and all that kind of stuff, Clorox, bleach. Everybody rushing to the store to stock up like it's the end of the world coming on. And in doing so, a whole lot of people that aren't at high risk are preventing people who are at high risk of being able to get the supplies they need. That's just dumb. Absolutely dumb. It is thoughtless. It is selfish. It is insensitive. And you're just giving in to paranoia. That's all you're doing. And it's so frustrating. Because and you could say, well, better safe than sorry, Paul. Better safe than sorry. That's what I say. Well, that's a good theory. But see, here's my problem with better safe than sorry. The better safe than sorry in this case is going to cause a lot of damage to a lot of people. Let's take, for example, I mentioned before, they've said that the NCAA tournaments, I said they canceled them. They didn't cancel them. They canceled audience. That the games will still be played, but with just teams on their own. No fans in attendance. Now I want you to stop and think about the financial repercussions of that. And they are massive. Not just from the vendors that would have been selling in the arenas, food and souvenir items and all that kind of stuff, but also the cities that host these things, their tourism and their stores and all of that. And that's just the first wave, because everybody who works at all of those vendors and all of those stores and all those restaurants, all those places, all those employees, they would have gotten paid for the work they were doing there, and then they would have taken that money and invested it back in their community, buying stuff, paying their bills, doing all these kind of things. That doesn't happen, and so that wave of money doesn't show up, and it actually goes reverse. So that now you have some entities, some businesses who they exist for those peak opportunities when a lot of people are going to be in town. That's where they make, Kansas City, large urban area. They have lots of events that go on down there. But now, the NCAA tournament, doesn't happen in Kansas City. How does that impact businesses there? And if other major things in Kansas City also start canceling out, how does that impact things there? There are going to be stores, there are going to be restaurants, there are going to be entities that they may not be able to stay in business, because this is what, they might lose money over portions of the year, and then times like this, boom, they make a lot of money, and it helps offset that. It helps them balance things out. Well, now they're not going to make that money. It's not going to show up here. And so they'll be at loss, and massive loss out of business. That's the impact of this. When we all go around running like our hair's on fire, and for me that would be a small fire, but still, when we go running around like we have our hair on fire and we're panicking, we're freaking out, oh, don't do this, don't do that, stop going, stop. We are creating a horrific economic domino effect. It is going to be already, even if tomorrow everything was better, there would already be a huge impact. We think, oh, we're all safe, we're doing the same. You just wait. I saw a meme that said the real impact of this pandemic is not going to be the number of people who die. It's going to be the number of people who go bankrupt, the number of people who lose everything financially, because of the paranoia that has surrounded this. And it reminded me, people have been critical of President Trump, and I'm critical of him sometimes too, and I try not to make these political, so that's not my point here. But I will say this, partially defending. I don't think he. People say that they think that his first reaction was concern about his reelection bid. Maybe I wouldn't put it past him. That's but also, I'm not really a fan of the nature of the criticism, because it's not just, well, you were putting your campaign above the nation. What they cite is, well, all he was doing was trying to, polish it up, make it look like there wasn't a problem, that, trying to tell people it's going to be all okay. See, I think that actually is the job of a president. That right there. I don't know that he did it the right way. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to give him kudos or talk bad about him either. That's not the point. What I'm saying is people have been critical of him because, well, he's just out there talking about it, trying to tell people it's going to be okay. See, I think a president should do that. You have a big dramatic thing like this happening. The president should be stepping out and saying, whoa, okay, everybody don't panic. First of all, keep your heads on. Come on, just we'll get through this. You need to relax. It's, smart people are working on this. Just trust us. Just use your head. Wash your hands. Use the hand sanitizer. Do these things. Do what you're encouraging, and just keep going. Just keep living your life and be mindful of others around you. But see, that's not what happened. He didn't say that stuff specifically, at least right away. He ultimately did say stuff like that, but after some criticism. But meanwhile, you got his critics on the other side of the aisle who are already, using the coronavirus thing to attack him and trying to leverage it to benefit them for the 2020 election, and that irritates me. That's a whole nother topic. But all of these children who claim to be our leaders made me think of a time when we had an actual president, and that actual president, my phone went to sleep on me. Hold on, I gotta go back and find the quote because I posted it. That actual president was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. In his first inaugural address in 1933, which, by the way, his first inaugural address in 1933, we were in the middle of the Great Depression. That was huge. It was massive, but it is not unlike what may happen in our nation now based on the economic issues that this panic is causing with this virus. But in his first inaugural address, Franklin D. Roosevelt, President of the United States, said on March 4th, 1933, "So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. In every dark hour of our national life, a leadership of frankness and of vigor has met with the understanding and support of the people themselves, which is essential to victory." Now that's a great statement. Now, there were things about Roosevelt's administration I also don't necessarily agree with, but he had that right. He had that right. Was there more for people to worry about than just fear itself? Absolutely there was. Starvation was a big one. All kinds of issues. It's keeping a roof over your head. All kinds of issues. However, he understood that the important thing was to get the nation together, to get the nation to understand that all we have to fear ultimately is fear. We need to not let that drive us. We need to overcome that, link up together, and together we can be victorious. See, that's what we need to do now. And don't look to Washington, D.C. to be your savior. Wash your hands. Watch how you cough. Watch how you sneeze. Use your hand sanitizer. Be smart. Be sensitive. Be aware. And when you see things like the toilet paper aisle and you're like, "Oh man, the toilet paper is almost gone. I better buy 12 packages." Do you really need 12 packages? Be considerate of your fellow man. Come on, people. We can do this. This is not something that should bring our nation to its knees. This is something that should actually allow us to demonstrate how strong, resilient, and unified we can be. Let's stop using it as a petty, political, partisan grudge match thing. Let's just be Americans, overcome this thing, and come out on the other side. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. With that, I'll see you next time from my front porch.